second Monday of each month until March. So well, in March we figured that, you know, pretty much we'll have to change gears by then anyway. But the next one for October will be on changing club cultures. However, today's topic is innovative club models. And we have a wonderful set of folks to talk to you today about innovative club models. Innovative club models are really one of my 3 top priorities this year. And the idea of an innovative club model is beyond just, you know, making your club innovative, but it's actually looking at creating new clubs that will add to the ability to grow Rotary. And these don't have to be big clubs. These can be little clubs. They can be nimble and strong and mighty, but small clubs, and they can be focused around all kinds of different causes. We have you know, a passport club, for instance, in our district, and so yes, and that is an excellent example of an innovative club model, so that people they want to be focused on doing service, and so they don't want to, they travel around a lot, and so they use the passport club as a mode to do that. We also have in our district and other satellite clubs, and one of them you're going to hear from today is called the Impact Club. And these clubs, I want to say, and some of you have heard me talk about this, you remember the days of UHF television where we had 3 channels and you had to get up and go change TV channels, or you had to have a grandkid or a son or daughter to, hey, change the channel for me, I don't want to get up off. And so then we got the cable TV and we got the remote control, and then we could sit there and we could go through 100 channels and not find anything to watch. You remember those poor people that complained about? We got Netflix, and I got a whole talk I do on this. But I mean, then we had Netflix, and you could sit there, and as long as you had adequate access to water, popcorn, and a bathroom, you could watch every single episode of Andy Griffith from beginning to end. All right, so that's where we are now. Our viewing type, the type of way we engage with television has changed. So it must be time for Rotary to change. It's time for us to come into the digital world and change to where we're able to have new opportunities for people to engage in Rotary in ways that fit their interest and their the types of things they want to see. All right, so I would, at this point, I've sort of framed it up a little bit. I'm going to invite District Membership Chair Philip Reed. Philip's from the Rotary Club of Hickory, and he is a membership champion in our district. He has brought many members to Rotary over the last few years. That's how I figured out who my membership champions were. And I'd now invite Philip, District Membership Chair and Membership Champion, to introduce to us some of the folks on the call.
I was going to say, everyone that was invited to the call, you were invited because you were membership chair of your club. And DG David can tell us, we have, what, 48, 49 traditional Rotary clubs, plus some satellites and some new clubs like Passport, right, DG David?
We have 49 clubs and 11 satellite clubs.
Okay. And the purpose of a membership committee at the district level, to those of you I've not met or talked to, is to share with you all via these second Monday membership seminars, best practices, successes, innovations, and resources that'll help you with whatever you're trying to do in your club. I see DG David watching the clock, and he covered most of what we were going to cover, but October 12th is our next Membership Monday after this, and I believe, DG David, it's Audley Night, and November 9th is the program you mentioned about changing club culture, right? But
That's right.
we had a video you wanted to show us.
Yes, go ahead and introduce our guest. I'm queuing up the video here.
Okay, well, the speakers for today, we're lucky to have a compatriot at the district governor level of DG David, and that's Tom Gump from District 5950. And that is where, Tom? Pennsylvania?
No.
Somewhere up there.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Close, right? North of here somewhere. I apologize
North
for
of the
that.
Mason-Dixon.
One of those. Yeah, great. But DG David was telling me DG Tom has already visited what, 41 or 42 clubs as of last week and racking them up. And how many clubs in your district, Tom?
There are 64 clubs, and hopefully there'll be more soon.
Wow, busy man. Then our second speaker is going to be, some of you know this guy, Patrick Langano from the Lenore Club. Patrick has a very innovative club, or actually two clubs they have started. He calls Impact Clubs. And then our immediate past district governor, Tiffany Irvin, is going to talk to us for a moment about resources available to every club in the district, membership chair and officers and board, to be able to see how to get to starting or running or changing your club structure so that you can try some of these innovative models. And David, I think it's time for your video, is it not?
Yes, but I can't get the video to work right now. Okay. I'm having trouble with the video. Let's go ahead and let's move right on into District Governor Tom's talk, and let him talk to us. And I'll pull up the video. I'll get it working here. It's not working right now.
Thank you.
Tom, if you would, go ahead and tell us a little bit about the innovative club types that you've been successful in starting in your district. And take it away, Tom. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you very much, David, and thank you, Phil, for inviting me. It is really such a pleasure to be with all of you today, virtually, to briefly talk about my favorite subject, innovative clubs. And you know, I wish we were all together in person in beautiful Western North Carolina. And when you invite me to your next virtual or in-person club that you start, just invite me and I'll come down to North Carolina for your chartering night. Before I get started, I just want to briefly discuss the North America membership problem. Now, we're often proud as Rotarians to stick out our chests and say we got 1.2 million members. But you know, we've been at that 1.2 million number for 25 years now. And if you compare that number to the number of members that Rotary International recruited over the last 10 years, that's 1.3. So you can see we have a revolving door problem. We have a lot of members that come in, but then we have a lot, even more members that come out. Actually, last year, RI broke a record. It broke two records, actually. It brought in over 150,000 members. That's the most it ever has in its history, its 115-year history. But unfortunately, it broke a record that I wish it didn't, and that it lost more members than it ever had before. And it was actually more than the number it brought in. Now, when Rotary started back in Evanston, Illinois, 115 years ago, we were 100%. North America was 100% of the membership. Then by the mid-90s, it went down to 50%. And just this past year, we actually dipped below the 30% of total membership of Rotary International, the first time in its history. Now, the current membership trends actually put North America to 0 members by 2050 if we keep losing members at the rate we're doing it. But there is an answer, and Governor David talked about that, and that's starting new clubs. And I applaud your work. I understand that you're actually forming a veteran club, and we formed the first ever veterans club in our district here, so I want to talk a little bit about that. But I've only been given 8 minutes, so I'm going to get down to the heart of the matter. And they tell me that 6 points is the most you should actually give for people to remember. So I'm actually going to start with only 6 points, and hopefully that you'll remember those. The first point is it's actually easier to grow Rotary by starting new clubs than it is starting to recruit new members. And of course, our existing clubs are the mainstay of Rotary, and we need to recruit for them. We need to retain them. But if you start new clubs, it's easier to grow because you actually don't have to change cultures. Because if you want to recruit members to your current club, or you want to bring a new member, sometimes they want to change the format of the meeting or the time or place of the meeting. But cause-based clubs can actually grow quicker because you're taking those passionate people that already have a culture and just bringing them into a new club. And it's interesting, cause-based clubs are an innovative club type, and I really like those clubs because they have an underlying passion. You know, it's funny because most of our traditional clubs, people belong to them because they either work in an area or they live in an area. But if you have a in-person club or a virtual club around a passion, you see people doing things that they normally don't do, like drive 2 hours to come to a meeting. And we've seen this a lot with our End Human Trafficking Club. Now, it's a proven concept. Not only do we have our Veterans Club here in Minnesota, but we actually have 2 Veterans Clubs in Texas that just started this past year, one in Houston and one in Plano. And we're forming other Veterans Clubs in other areas, even South Africa, believe it or not. And North Carolina is just the best place to start a Veterans Club, because I did a little bit of research, and you guys actually have 8 military bases in your area. And if you take Fort Bragg, I know that's in Fayetteville and that's south of you guys, but that's the largest military base in the whole US. I mean, they have 50,000 active duty soldiers and 110,000 additional people who work there as contractors. So you have 60,000 people, and I bet a lot of those will retire to your area. And the other thing you can do is you can actually start up an e-satellite club for those people in North Carolina that are a little bit farther out and maybe have cheaper club dues. And the other thing is, just know that you can do it. I mean, if we could do it here, and we don't have any active military bases, and you know, I was the champion in our area for that, and I'm not even a veteran. So if we can do it, you can definitely do it. And remember, there's always people to help you. Governor David can help you. Philip Reed, your district membership chair, can help. Your independent club advocates, and you always have me to ask too. Now, the other thing I really like about cause-based clubs like the Veterans Club that you're starting is that you're not really poaching members from existing clubs. And that's always a complaint that presidents have. I know, David, if you, on your club visits, if you talk about forming new clubs, a lot of them say, oh, wait, I don't want to lose any of my new members. But you don't really have to do that. Actually, you know, RI actually did a study about when you start a new club, and they studied all new clubs formed in the last 5 years. They figured out how many of those are new to Rotary, and it was 88% were new to Rotary. And that's different than a passport club where sometimes you get existing members. But that's important because when you have these clubs that are reaching out into the community and reaching out towards a passion, you're bringing in new members to Rotary. Because I'm assuming you've all done a great job, and Phil's pushing you to grow your clubs, but this is just a way to get more people in that you haven't thought of before. So that's a really good thing. I'm always around for questions, so if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'm up to my 8 minutes, so thank you.
Thank you, Governor Tom. I appreciate that. It's words of encouragement, very important, because I think that's the toughest part, is taking the first step, and appreciate that very much. If you guys have any interest in veterans clubs, or I think, Tom, do you have also the club there, the Into Human Trafficking Club in your district? Is that in your district?
Yes.
Or,
Yeah, that's my district, and we formed that. And can I just tell a little bit, David, why we did that?
Yeah, go ahead. I'd like that.
Thank you. So a few years ago, we had an initiative that started out in our district to end human trafficking. And we got a champion or 2 in each of our 64 clubs. And then we moved it to the district north of us and south of us. So it was going well for a few years. And then the person who's ahead of that initiative came to me and said, Tom, you know, I just don't want to do this anymore. We're going to stop being Rotary members. And I was like, why is that? Karen's her name. And she said, you know, our champions go to their clubs and they say, we want to have a human trafficking and end human trafficking speaker. And they might do 1 speaker a year, but they never want to have a second one. Or if they do a district grant, they don't ever want to have a second district grant. And I said, Karen, there's a real easy answer. We need to form a club. And that club has grown. Out of the clubs that have grown since July 1 numbers, they're still growing. So it's just interesting when you find that spark and passion, you work on it. And why would somebody start a Rotary Club instead of just another nonprofit? Because Rotary has those grants, so they can do projects and stuff like that. It's just that they can focus in one area, because you know how it is in our clubs. We have great things going on with literacy projects, you know, fighting hunger projects, peace projects. But if you have these cause-based clubs, they can focus in the area they want to focus on.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to attempt to share the video, and I hope that it'll take off here. And right after that, we'll get to Patrick from the Impact Club. So let's see if this will work. And somebody nudge me if it doesn't work.
As Rotary, we all ask ourselves, how do we grow personally? To grow Rotary,
Yes.
we need more Rotary clubs. Let's use Anytown as an example. Anytown is a city of 100,000 people and home to one proud Rotary club. But there are hundreds of other people of action, just like us, who are uniquely qualified to become Rotary members. They share the same drive and represent the values and fundamentals of a Rotary member. So why aren't they members? Well, the current club meets on Monday. There are leaders in Anytown who can't meet on a Monday. By excluding this segment, the potential members in Anytown has shrunk. Now consider, what if the meeting is at noon on Monday? There are people who can meet on Monday, but can't meet at noon. So now we have a smaller audience for Rotary in Anytown. Of the remaining group, some aren't interested in a club with a sit-down lunch and speakers. They are passionate about service, but aren't interested in a traditional club experience. And that is okay. The Rotary Club of Anytown isn't doing anything wrong. It just doesn't appeal to particular segments of the community. And if we're going to thrive for years to come, we must adapt and embrace change. In Anytown, we have an opportunity to expand because potential members are everywhere. More than half of the eligible people are prospective Rotary members, waiting to make a bigger impact in their community. But what Rotary Club exists for them? If Anytown creates new clubs at new times and new places, the hidden potential for Rotary will be revealed. As people of action, we must broaden our reach and provide opportunities to all leaders in the community. Together, all of us can grow Rotary.
All right, so you can see that Tom's words have been further bolstered by a video created by Rotary International in exactly the points he was making. Now I have to make it stop. All right, we're still good here. So next I've got on tap is Patrick Longano. Patrick Longano is from the Rotary Club of Lenore, my home club. And Patrick has started an amazing new club called the Impact Club. And he has a lot of different facets, and I know he's got a lot to talk about. So I don't want to take his time, but he's in our district. And take it away, Patrick.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay, great. I appreciate that. They told me I had 8 minutes to speak. Actually, DG David Walker told me I had 7:59, and for anybody who knows me knows that's going to be a challenge. But what I've done is I've condensed down a little version of my presentation, so I'd like to go over that with you now, if you don't mind. So first of all, what if I told you your club could double its membership, create a satellite club, and build a service army? Something that you could do club, area, and district-wide this year. Now, what if I told you that you could do some much-needed service projects in your community without having to beg for the same volunteers over and over and over again, all without upsetting your legacy clubs? Before I give you the details of the solution, I want to outline the problem. Everyone here is aware that the organizations across the world, not just Rotary, are experiencing declining membership. According to an article online, the Masons have lost 3 million members since the 50s. And the Elks have dropped 50% membership since the 90s. And Rotary itself is down 18% in just the last 2 decades. And I think that number is probably a little soft. These articles and many others offer suggestions for growing our clubs. Some are organizationals, like keeping a list of potential members, make membership your top priority, make a list of club members' responsibilities and keep them on hand so when you're talking to potential members. These are all things that we should be doing and are the same answers being offered in every article since 1995. Other tips are more specific, like instructing clubs to look for young Rotarians, as if every club hadn't already thought of that. Other suggestions are to have a membership drive. What I say about a membership drive, this isn't Bally Total Fitness or Blockbuster. Please remember what happened to them. How about instead of targeting a specific group of people based on their age and insisting that they conform to us, we create something that will draw people from all walks of life. Service is the common denominator that attracts all genders and all races. Today, time is more important to most people than membership. What does that mean? Time is scarce. In this gig economy, many younger people are working 2 to 3 jobs on top of their household responsibilities. Potential Rotarians of all ages already have strong social networks. They're not necessarily looking for a membership experience because they don't have time for that. We've been trying to convince people that they have time to be members instead of giving them opportunities to do something that is more important to them than both membership and time. It's service. People who do not have a lot of time still have that burning need inside to serve, a need that is not currently being met, leaving that space vacant and empty. If you give them an opportunity to take their limited time to get in, serve, and go home, you'll have them hooked. They will prioritize service because it's not only more important to them than membership, it's more important to them than time. Without even having to ask, people will rearrange their schedule so that they can serve without having to be begged to. And until now, a lack of time to attend meetings meant that people lost out on their opportunity to serve or just choose a different organization altogether. This has meant that our legacy clubs have lost members. As life circumstances change, we've had nothing to offer someone short on time, but big on heart. That was the situation that cried out for a solution, and that solution is Impact. It's a service-only club that offers flex in exchange for the opportunity to serve your community. Impact was started to meet people's unmet need to serve. Once we induct the members that have been approved by our club, Lenore's Impact Satellite will be the largest satellite in District 7670 in just 3 short months. And we are on track to add 84 new members this Rotary year. Why is this important? Every service club needs the 3 W's: wealth, wisdom, and workers. And we all know we're short on workers. Our Impact Club represents not only more members completing more service, it inspires more service. We are on schedule to eclipse all of last year's volunteer hours by the end of this month. And we're tracking close to 2,500 hours by the end of the year. It will overturn donations to help students and charitable causes such as the Rotary Foundation. It will even inspire growth in our legacy clubs as individuals find out that service and Rotary are worth the cost of time and convert over. District Governor David Walkner actually asked me yesterday about our plans for the Rotary Foundation. And we have worked on our policy for our Impact Satellite so that once members understand the value of this organization, our foundation committee can approach them at that level of understanding and upsell their sustaining memberships. In addition, we have developed a handbook so that anything that works for us can be replicated at other clubs, which will grow Rotary in every district or area. One way Impact is helping people short on time do the service they crave is by us developing our service application. The Rotary Club of Lenore is partnering with 2 other Rotary clubs in our area to test our electronic service hour logging application. The other piece that we've started testing is our electronic service opportunities. And the end goal is to create an app where the community organizations can post service opportunities and choose the ones, and Impact members can see those opportunities and choose the ones that fit their schedule. Once this is out of testing, it will be an actual application that members can download onto their Android or Apple smartphones. The service opportunities will be in their hands, in front of their eyes, for them to accept or decline as their schedule allows. And an initiative that we started called Service Together. These projects on the application will be able to levels such as club, community, area, district, and even zone. I'd like to thank, first of all, somebody that's on this call, past district governor or past president and assistant district governor, Paul Brandenburg, who I first brought this idea to over 2 years ago. And I'd like to call out somebody that's sitting right next to him. Patty Brandenburg is his wife, and she was one of our founding members of Impact. And Patty, I'd like to say, is probably sandbagging, but she has already logged 76 service hours this year alone. She's absolutely amazing. She is making these masks, Rotary masks, for people to wear. And I know Patty's sandbagging on those hours. I know she is. Every time I get close, she just pops a bunch of these on there for us, a lot of these hours. But that's what Impact was made for. We're getting past Rotarians who had to leave back in. We're getting family members of Rotarians who are true Rotarians at heart to join, and we're going after some of the younger folks that were doing that. But I'd also like to thank past President Helen Hall and District Governor David Wachner, who've been championing this cause. But we wouldn't have been able to do it, honestly, without immediate past District Governor Tiffany and our club president, Ethan, without them to pushing this at the end of last year, we wouldn't have been able to get it done. But also Philip Reed, our district membership chair, has really come on since I met him and has championed our cause. And just remember, this is service your way and your time, when you want it and what you want. Paul Harris, our founder, said, "This is a changing world and we must be prepared to change with it. The story of Rotary will have to be written again and again." And he said that in 1935, and it's as true then as it is today in 2020. So again, I'm going to ask you one question. What would you say if I told you that you could do all that? You could do all of this, and I could show you how. Thank you, David. Thank you, Philip.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Patrick. So you can see there's room for innovation and Rotary membership development. We're seeing a lot of opportunities here. And I don't want you to think you're alone. We're asking you to do great things. We're asking you as membership chairs and presidents to open these opportunities for your communities. You guys know best how to do that. But you're not alone. You've got resources behind you. You've got a district leadership team. You've got, and including in that is immediate past District Governor Tiffany Irvin, who needs no introduction. But I do want to let you know that Tiffany has recently been nominated to the Innovative Club zone level Innovative Club Committee, and she can tell you more about what it's called exactly. But it's a very honorable position, and it's because of her leadership in innovative club development. We have this resource available to us. We have other resources available to us, and Tiffany's going to talk to us about that right now. Tiffany, take it away.
Great. Thank you, David. And thank you to everyone who is taking time to be here this afternoon and to want to soak in more information. I wanted to say a special thank you to Patrick because he's worked so hard on that program. And he used the quote from Paul Harris that I used in all of my official visits last year. So we've been talking about change for a really long time. And so it's going to happen. It is already underway. So very quickly, I'm starting my timer right now. I know I have 5 minutes, and y'all know how really hard that is for me to stay in that amount of time. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you very briefly a website that I'm going to encourage you to tune in to the monthly meeting that Philip was mentioning earlier. That will be, your special guest will be Audley Knight. He is our regional membership officer, and I have a feeling that he will probably go into more depth with you on this website, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it now. But as David mentioned, Governor David mentioned this Innovative Club Advocacy Committee, and there is one representative from each district in our 2 zones. And so I'm representing District 7670, and I have put together a stellar team. I call them my dream team, my spark plugs, whatever you want to call it, special ops forces, if you will. And there are several folks on that, but there is room on that committee for more folks. So if you're listening to this today and you think, man, I think I could help make this happen in our district, then you reach out to me. We'd love to put you to work. Very quickly, I do want to show you, if I can figure out how to do it, I think I can, to share my screen. You guys nod if you can see. Yes. Okay. So the website is simply growrotary.org. And I'm going to ask you to don't go to it right now. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to briefly introduce you to it. Go play around in it when you have some time on your own. And then be sure to tune in. I believe it was next month when they said that Audley will be your guest speaker, and he will probably give you more information on this. But the website is growrotary.org. You use your user ID that you use if you go to myrotary.org. And your same password. And when you log in, I just want to show you what it's going to look like, because this is some fabulous data. Y'all know I'm a big picture girl. I am not a data person. However, the data that you can see in here is really quite impressive. I'm going to go to our district and our zone, and I'm going to see if I can show it to you. But basically, what you're going to see is there are little pins on here everywhere that we have a Rotary Club. But you can also, I'm going to use Asheville for an example, because everybody says Asheville has, I should probably close a bunch of my other sites, I'm sorry. Asheville has enough Rotary Clubs, we don't need any more Rotary Clubs there. This is a great website because what it'll show you is if you log into the little communities around, it will give you information in those zip codes, and it'll tell you things like, and you can't see it, I don't know, maybe you can see it over here. It'll give you population demographics, such as how many people live there, how many of them are Rotarians, and what their median income is. So it's really great data to use if you're looking at areas that might need Rotary Clubs. And y'all know I use the word need because they need Rotary Clubs. But this is our district. You can go in there and play around. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in there. I just wanted you to know that this website is there, growrotary.org. So when you get a chance, please go in there and take a look at it. And I'm going to try to get back to everybody so that I can see you all again. And right now, all I see is David's face on my computer screen. That's really fun. I have a great big head of David there, right there. So very quickly, my timer is going. I'm watching my time. I wanted to tell you that what our committee in our district is working on, and it's a lot like what you heard Governor Tom talk about, innovative clubs. We are using the Impact Club that Patrick mentioned as one of our standards that we're looking to replicate across the district, but we're also looking to do something that's never been done here before. And Governor Isaac, several years ago, started talking about vocation-based clubs at the school system. And I talked about it last year with Spanish-speaking communities or the deaf community or whatever. Governor David is still talking about this with vocation-based like Facebook and Google, people that are located here in our district. We're going to look at those even more closely this year, and we're going to look at things like cause-based clubs, like Governor Tom talked about with the veterans. That is something we'd like to look at here. But what our club is going to do is narrow down to 4 or 5 because we have goals that we have to meet this year. I had to submit in advance how many new standalone clubs we think we're going to create, and I said 1. How many new satellite clubs I said we would create, and I said 2. How many new members that were not currently in another club, and I said 40. And at the end of the year, how many new clubs will be in the pipeline to create a new club? And I said 1. So we have a lot of work to do this year, but we can't do it alone. We're going to need your help. We are going to narrow down the focus that we want to stress this coming year as what our cause base. Veterans might be one of them. We're also looking at an Alzheimer's research club that would be based around supporters of CART. So if you would like to help with that, I would love to have you work on that as well. The folks over in Silva are very interested in hiking, outdoor environment. How about that? That's my timer going off. The environment and preservation. We're also looking at creating an alumni club, and we have past District Governor Dennis Sanders who's helping us work on that. And several others. There's the arts, there's the areas of focus, there's social injustice. There's so many topics that are out there. So if you or your club is interested in starting a basic satellite club just to grow your membership, then we will be happy to help you with that. But if you want to start something totally new, remember, I don't say think outside the box. There is no box. But if you want to look outside that box, that's what we're here to help you with. So you can reach out to me. You can say, hey, I'd like to be on that team. Or if you say, I'd like to try something in our community or in our club, we can assign someone from our team to be the contact for you and to help you. So please reach out. Let me know what I can do to help. Ask questions if you have them. But we are very excited about the opportunity to create some innovative clubs. As they mentioned earlier, the Passport Club chartered this past year, first club in 9 years in our district to charter. And only 2 or 3 of those people were members of other clubs that moved over. That was bringing back club members who had left Rotary for some reason. So we have lots of opportunities to reach out to people who maybe know nothing about our organization or maybe once knew something about organization, but they all deserve to be Rotarians. And so we're going to do this project together. So I thank David for some time and DMC Philip for some opportunity to share a little bit about what we're doing, and I look forward to working with you guys.
Thank you, PDG Tiffany. Appreciate that very much. And, you know, I'm telling you guys, we've got a lot of great energy in this district, and she outlined some goals there. And I bet you with the folks we have on this call, we can blow those goals out of the water. We're gonna take this district to a leadership position in innovative club development. We've been working, this isn't something we started yesterday. This is something we've been working on. Isaac was talking innovative clubs. Tiffany talked innovative clubs, started a lot of satellites. First satellites were started, I think, with Isaac maybe, or maybe a little bit before. No, Bill maybe.
No, way back. Our first satellite was in 2015.
Billy. Did Billy have one?
2015, Gary Bray was district governor.
Oh, Bray had one. All right. Wow. See, so I mean, we've been leading for a while. We've been talking this game, and I didn't even know that it was all the way back to Gary Bray. So that's awesome. We need to take this to the next level. We've got momentum. We've got an opportunity. I mean, don't let this COVID thing get you down. This is not. We're not going to let COVID change history. It might accelerate the change, but we can handle it. We're Rotarians. We're people of action. Now, with that, I would say, like, please, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat box or raise your hand, and we can recognize you. Any questions out there? See, Patrick.
David, where do we stand? I saw a couple of weeks ago we had, I think it was at the end of July's numbers, where they sent out the graph and showed that we were in second place in the district, or for districts in our zone. The first district, the district that had the most growth so far, was Baltimore, Washington, but we weren't that far behind to where we couldn't catch them. Did you get any more information on that stuff? Because I know that this district itself right here does not like to be in second place, and we won't be as long as we if you keep feeding us those numbers, we'll get there.
We were looking at those numbers right before you got on, Patrick. But I just got them today, and I haven't had a chance to analyze them very much. I do believe we're still in second place, but the good thing is about our district is that we are on the success track. We have the right momentum. We're following. There's a predictive model to that report, and we are on the success track. So we're one of 3 districts that are at par for membership development. We've got good momentum, folks. you know, there's opportunities in District 7670, and you're seeing it. So we got a lot of room to grow. Anybody else got a question, comment? Yes, Philip.
You got me unmuted?
And then Harry.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell everybody, our commitment to you was to start on time and end on time. I don't want to run over, but you can email me any question for any of the speakers, and I will attempt to get them to them and get you back an answer. And Governor Tom was very gracious because none of this benefits District 5950, but he took a chunk of his time and had his talk ready to go. So I'll be the filter. I'll screen the questions, but I'll get you answers from him.
Thank you very much. Good heads up there, Philip. And yes, thank you, Governor Tom, so much for taking your time to help us in District 7670. Thank you for your leadership and innovative club development. I've been watching you, man. Thank you.
Thank you all. My pleasure.
PDG Harry Brogdon had a comment.
Well, I decided I'd send it to Philip, but it's a quick question. I'm interested in question to Patrick or whoever. What is the dues structure of the Impact Club member?
Good question.
Okay, the district or the club dues for Impact are $180 for the year. We've followed several other models, and I know most of you are in legacy clubs right now, and that's the reason why it took us 2 years. We had to convince our legacy model that this was their service arm. It was a separate but a service arm that they could wield in their community, and therefore that they were not doing the same as their legacy club, and they came to accept and be totally okay with Impact. Another thing that it has done, I will let you know, over the past 2 months, it's saved over 40 years worth of Rotarian experience in the last 2 months. We were able to save people who were leaving the club with over 40 years worth of experience. And when we showed them the Impact model, they said, that's what I have time for. So we were able to do that as well. So it's not just a model to get people, it's also assistance on helping retain. But most of our members, I would say that 90% or better are on auto pay. So you don't ever have to chase anybody for payment. The only people that are not on auto pay are somebody that their work is paying for it and they have to submit an invoice to get it paid. But it's $180, and most of our people, I would say half of them have paid their year up front.
Right. Well, with that, you know, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting. I do want to let you know a couple things. Like Tiffany's got a bunch of resources available. Well, Patrick has published an entire manual on how to set up Impact clubs. I know Tom, Governor Tom can will be happy to help us with resources and things. So, and of course my team, and all of you are on my team, but district membership chair Philip, and all of you, all of the assistant governors, happy to help you out. If you have any kind of question and you didn't get it answered, please send that to us, and you can respond to the email or whatever you need to do and get back in touch. But we're ran a couple minutes over. We started a couple minutes late, so I don't feel too bad about it. But really happy to see the great turnout. Come back on October for the membership Monday in October. And Philip, just tell us one more time when that date is.
It's October 12th, same time, 4:15.
Yeah.
Audley night will go into what past District Governor Tiffany talked about, but the databases that are available to help you see where potential members are close to your club.
Mm-hmm. That's good. We'll cover the nuts and bolts in October. So looking forward to that. Thank you everyone for being here today. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Be safe, be well, and do some good in the world. Thank you.